Hello, it is Sunday, a fun day, May 3rd, 2020. Steve Cypress here at the end of a spectacular, beautiful spring day. I was going to say summer, but of course it's still the spring. It's early May here in beautiful Arizona. Temps hitting 100 degrees just about every day last week, and the forecast for much of the same next week. So, beautiful pool day today. Shot some hoops in the pool, hanging out, having some fun. And I did dip a little into Facebook despite my better, despite what's the phrase? I don't know. Pretty dumb. I was doing great practicing social media distancing. And then I dipped through my Facebook feed and saw the craziness that's going on. People are crazy. But one of the things I got to tell you is people are completely going crazy over this whole mask thing. Like masks, there's some people actually that believe that if you wear a mask, it's to protect you from catching a virus. I can't even say it with a straight face. Are they not paying attention to anything? Do you really think there's a doctor or a nurse sitting there in a coronavirus ward in a hospital sitting there going, oh yeah, all I got's a face mask, I'm happy. I'm protected. That's it, I'll never catch it. I mean, they're demanding. It's a scandal if they're not provided full head-to-toe spaceman outfit, gown, face mask, gloves, goggles, you name it. Like a mask. No, the mask, folks, the mask doesn't protect the wearer from catching anything. I mean, covering a little small part of the... What about the whole rest of your face and all that? Like, the whole rest of your body. Like, stop being ridiculous. The mask is meant to protect others from you possibly killing them. So the mandate, or even just the self-belief that I should wear a mask, is because we've been brainwashed to believe that we no longer love our neighbor or trust our neighbor or trust our fellow Americans or like them or love them or anything. It's we believe everyone's out to kill us. Unwittingly, they're just going to kill us if we walk past them in a store. Well, what the heck are you walking past them in a store? I mean, I saw some clip of this Dr. Burke, one of Trump's swamp-dwelling medical people who bamboozled him into crashing the whole economy and launching the whole socialist, more socialist handouts. You thought FDR or Obama were bad. Like Trump makes them look like children. He's got the most massive socialist government outreach by far in U.S. history. And wasn't he the one that proclaimed this will never be a socialist country? And like a few months later, bang, let's just pay people to not work and close down all private enterprise, and let's pay out billions and trillions in taxpayer dollars for people just to sit around and do nothing. Like, yeah, that's called socialism, Trump. But anyway, she was sitting going, yeah, the mask, she was explaining this. The mask, of course, doesn't protect you, the wearer. It protects you from being an unwitting, what are they called, asymptomatic carrier and giving it to somebody. I mean, if you just happen to walk down the street and pass by someone who's vulnerable, you don't want to give it to them. And I'm like, oh, faceplant, you had it there until the very end. Of course, most people don't catch it. I mean, it's this whole situation is a great study in persuasion, communication, manipulation, whatever you want to call it. Because right there at the end, she goes, yeah, in case you walk by someone who's vulnerable. What the hell is that person who's vulnerable doing walking on the street where people might not be wearing a mask? Or even if they are, give it to them. I mean, what an idiot. Like, people that are vulnerable, I'll give you a hint. Don't go shopping. Don't go to a game. Don't go to a restaurant. Don't go out on the street. I mean, when did the whole world flip from all the healthy people gotta self-quarantine and be under house arrest while all the vulnerable people... instead of the vulnerable people doing that? Like, what the heck? That's how you crash an economy and launch socialism. Like, oops. Now, I just had this conversation with my beautiful wife, Michelle. I personally have stayed in the house. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. Not because of me personally, I couldn't catch this thing. And if I did, I wouldn't even care. I take care of my immune system. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't eat red meat. I don't drink coffee. I don't do a lot of things that damage the immune system. I've always had a strong immune system. It certainly the last 20 years really took care of it. And not, I'm sure I'll get a cold or a flu or this virus, whatever you want to call it. I'll get this stuff and I'll be down for a couple of days or coughing or sneezing or whatever it is. But the reason I don't go do anything and I don't invite anybody else over here is because my mother-in-law is staying with us. Now, she's over 75 years old and she's a diabetic. And all I hear is that is the exact target that this virus affects. Not me, but it affects her. And so, yeah, she's like, oh, but can't I invite my friend over to come swim in the pool? And, can't we go do this? And can't we go do that? Yeah, we, as in I can, but that wouldn't make sense. What if I bring something back on my clothes, on my whatever? The mask isn't going to stop me from bringing something back. I can bring it back on the outside of the mask, out loud, or on my forehead or on my ear. Like, stop being ridiculous. But I self-quarantine, well, that's a kind of a loose term since the government kind of threatens you at gunpoint and with fear of imprisonment if you don't quarantine. But, I don't do anything because I'm living with, sheltering, helping someone who is the exact target. But if you're not, the whole world is flipped on its head, that suddenly you should be the one staying at home. Another thought, by the way, since it is Sunday Fun Day, I'll just ramble here, is anyone surprised? I mean, people are. But again, the brainwashing and the mind manipulation is amazing here. Like, people seem to be shocked and amazed that all kinds of governors and mayors and county commissioners, all kinds of these politicians are drunk with power and issuing all kinds of authoritative, hey, I got a pen and a phone and whatever I say goes, executive orders and rules, and you can go to a big box store but you can't go to a mom and pop store, and you can go to a supermarket but you can't go inside a restaurant, and you can go to a Home Depot but you can't buy certain things in the Home Depot, and you can go out on a lake in a kayak but not in a motorboat, and all kinds of ridiculous things going on. But is anyone surprised? This is the second president in a row we've had who is pretty much the most narcissistic, thinks they're brilliant, thinks they know everything, thinks it's up to them to fix everything, and they alone should do things, and I got the sword and the pen, and I know best, and only I can fix things. We got two arrogant, narcissistic presidents in a row who think they can do anything they want. So after 12 years of that, or 11 years or whatever, what do you think? All kinds of other governors and mayors think they also can make up any rules they want and do anything they want. So why is this a surprise? Anyway, the fish stinks from the head down, folks. For 11 years and coming up on 12, we're going to have presidents who think they're God's gift to the world and they know everything and they got the pen and the sword and they'll just make up whatever rules they want. Like, of course other politicians now think that. We need a couple of politicians, presidents coming in probably, that have a little humility and realize their job is to get the hell out of our way instead of to think they got to fix everything in order for it to possibly change around again in the future. I'm not holding my breath for that. But anyway, that'll do it for Sunday Fun Day. Hey, Greg Bowen is here. Great seeing you, Greg. And as the sun sets in the west, reflecting off one of the homes in the east behind me. And by the way, I noticed, my beautiful wife Michelle pointed out to me earlier, there it is. The moon was out very early today. There it is, high up in the sky. So we have the sun on one side, and we have the moon on the other. Kind of cool. That's it for Sunday Fun Day. I'll catch you back here tomorrow. I've got 2 pieces of mail that made their way into my mailbox in the past few days to share tomorrow with business lessons attached to them on Direct Mail Monday. Hope you will join me then. Over and out. Bye-bye.